President Joko Widodo ordered the ministers and governors to tightly monitor the social assistance distribution. Indonesia Financial Services Authority is optimistic that Indonesian capital market will revive in 2021. Good afternoon, viewers in Indonesia and Singapore. Market Headlines is ready to provide you a number of informations from the business, economic, and capital market sectors. With me, Fajar Wayong, this is Market Headlines. President Joko Widodo inaugurated the distribution of cash assistance throughout Indonesia in 2021. In the ceremony, the president loudly ordered the ministers and governors to tightly monitor the social assistance distribution. President Joko Widodo inaugurated the distribution of cash assistance throughout Indonesia in 2021. Jokowi stated that the government had prepared a budget for social assistance of 110 trillion rupiah. And with this launch, the social assistance began to be distributed to 34 provinces. In his remarks, President Joko Widodo loudly ordered the ministers and governors to tightly monitor the social assistance distribution.
Oleh sebab itu, saya perintahkan kepada para menteri, kepada para gubernur, agar mengawal proses penyaluran ini, agar cepat, bisa tepat sasaran, dan tadi diawasi tidak ada potongan-potongan apapun. Sehingga dampak ekonominya segera bisa muncul dan meningkatkan pertumbuhan ekonomi kita, dan tentu saja rakyat tidak menunggu terlalu lama. Kemarin baru tahun baru, langsung sekarang sudah kita luncurkan bantuan.
The president said that the social assistance launch was in the form of a family hope program, basic food program, and cash assistance. He also mentioned that the social assistance was divided into several stages, including the Family Hope program, which was divided into 4 stages, where the distribution would be carried out by state-owned banks. From all sources, for IDX Channel. And viewers, after inaugurated by President Joko Widodo, the Minister of Social Affairs, Tri Risma Hari ini, ensures that the ministry is starting to distribute the 2021 social assistance for 38.8 million recipients. The government is starting to distribute the social assistance for 38.8 million recipients through 3 programs of Social Ministry. The Minister of Social Affairs, Tri Risma Hari ini, mentioned that the 3 programs include Family Hope Program, Basic Food Program, and Cash Assistance Program. For Family Hope Program, the Social Ministry will distribute total assistance of 28.7 trillion rupiah for 10 million recipients. Meantime, for Basic Food Program, the total budget allocation reaches 45.12 trillion rupiah for 18.8 million recipients. For the third program, Cash Assistance, Risma ensures that the ministry will realize fund distribution as much as 12 trillion rupiah for 10 million cash assistance recipients. In addition, the minister stated that the social assistance distribution will be carried out simultaneously in 34 provinces across Indonesia. From all sources, for IDX Channel. Indonesia faces a huge debt burden, citing shortfall in state revenues due to COVID-19. Finance Minister ensured that debt will be used for economic recovery up to social protection program. To foot the state freebies bill, Ministry of Finance noted that debt burden reached 5,910.64 trillion rupiah by the end of November 2020. This debt position is equivalent to 38.13% of gross domestic product and is estimated to continue to increase due to shrinking state revenue. The current borrowing trend indicated that the state government facing massive shortfall in state revenues due to COVID-19. However, Sri Mulyani as Minister of Finance ensured credibility in maintaining the debt.
Jadi saya ngutang, dan saya diomelin seluruh rakyat Indonesia ngutang untuk ini. Sama seperti Republik Indonesia, APBN kita penerimaannya turun hingga hampir 20%. Tapi belanjanya naik lebih dari 500 triliun. Bayangkan, yang tadinya 2.200 triliun menjadi 2.750 triliun. Belanjanya naik, penerimaannya turun. Maka pasti defisitnya naik. Itulah yang...
Statistic Indonesia or BPS stated that people's purchasing power has gradually recovered, even though it has not returned to normal yet. Improvement in people's purchasing power has been seen at the end of the year, citing core component inflation as one of its key indicators, which grew positively to reach 0.05% in December 2020. Setianto, Deputy for Statistics Distribution and Services at BPS, stated that on a monthly basis, the increase in core inflation began to be seen from October 2020, when it reached 0.04%. Then it jumped again to 0.06% in November, so it attached closely with the people's purchasing power.
Daya beli masyarakat, makanya kalau kita lihat inflasi inti, biasanya ini digunakan sebagai indikator masih tercatat positif di Desember 2020 ini, yaitu sebesar 0,05%. Meskipun inflasi inti ini trennya menurun beberapa bulan terakhir.
However, he noted to see whether purchasing power has improved, it would also be necessary to factor in the level of household consumption and stretching demand in the market. From Jakarta, Raharjo Patmo for IDX Channel. Stay tuned on market headlines. We'll be right back quick after this break.
Bagaimana outlook UMKM di 2020 ini, Pak Leona?
Saya ingin mengajak terutama anak-anak muda bagaimana caranya supaya nantinya ini bisa berkooperasi dengan baik. Dan ini sudah dimulai.
Seiring dengan penutupan dari Bursa Wall Street, di mana S&P kembali mencatatkan rekor tertinggi sepanjang sejarah, membuat IHSG juga pada pagi hari ini dibuka di teritori positif, pemirsa.
Kedua, pasar masih melihat adanya proses recovery yang terus berjalan.
Sementara di Asia kita lihat berakhir positif juga pada perdagangan Jumat kemarin setelah rilis data ekonomi di wilayah Eropa dan Amerika yang mengalami penguatan.
Bagaimana outlook UMKM di 2020 ini, Pak Leona?
Saya ingin mengajak terutama anak-anak muda bagaimana caranya supaya nantinya ini bisa berkooperasi dengan baik. Dan ini sudah dimulai.
Welcome back on Market Headlines. The Indonesia Central Bureau of Statistics, or BPS, released its latest data on the number of foreign tourists entering Indonesia in November 2020. The number of foreign tourists in November reached 175.31 thousand. The Indonesia Central Bureau of Statistics, or BPS, released its latest data on the number of foreign tourists entering Indonesia in November 2020. The number of foreign tourists in November reached 175.31 thousand. This number decreased 86.31% year-on-year compared to November 2019, where the number of foreign tourists reached 1.28 million visits. That's true, this comparison is very sharp, considering that in 2019 there was no coronavirus pandemic. However, looking deeper into the BPS data, compared to October 2020, foreign tourist visit to Indonesia actually increased.
November ini 2020 sebesar 175.000 kunjungan, 175,3 ribu kunjungan wisatawan mancanegara. Kalau kita lihat man-to-man, kita bandingkan dengan bulan sebelumnya, ini mengalami peningkatan sebesar 13,90%.
As stated by BPS, there was an increase in foreign tourist visits by 13.9% compared to October 2020, where based on data throughout last October, the number of foreign tourists entering Indonesia reached 153.9 thousand. From all sources, for IDX Channel. Yes, viewers, the COVID-19 pandemic has not ended. The economy has not fully shown recovery, including the Indonesian tourism sector. BPS data shows that there has been an improvement in terms of foreign tourist visits, but is it significant enough to encourage the revival of the tourism sector? To get a clearer view, let's check it out in this following infographics. We go to the next graphic. The first graphic, it's number of foreign tourist visits to Indonesia. The data is taken from BPS on January 2020. That was 1,272.08, 1.2 million visits. And then we can see in the March, that was declined to 470.9 thousand. And we can see from April and the next months, it's only a flat or sideways. We can see the April is 158.7 thousand visits, and then on July 157.94 thousand of visits, and in September and October there was an improvement. We can see that on October 2020 153.92 thousand visits, and on November 2020 1,075.3 thousand of visits, and cumulatively in January up to November 2020 3.89 million visits, or decreased by 73.6% year on year. And yes, viewers, clearly there has been a drastic decrease compared to the previous year, where as we all know, there has been no coronavirus pandemic yet. But if we dig further, foreign tourist visits in November 2020 compared to the previous month, or October 2020, there was an increase of 30.9%. Based on BPS data, the number of foreign tourist visits is dominated by land routes, followed by air and sea routes. And for details, let's move to the next graphic. So this is the mode of transportation used by foreign tourists. In the graphic, we can see that from air transportation, 43,394 visits, and from sea mode transportation, 43,343 visits, and from land routes, 88,576 visits. The data is taken from BPS. So viewers, compared to the foreign tourist visits in October 2020, the number of foreign tourist arrivals to Indonesia through air and transits in November 2020 experienced a rapid increase of 240.13%. The highest percentage increase occurred at Lombok International Airport and West Nusa Tenggara. Then followed by Juanda Airport, East Java, and Kuala Namu Airport in North Sumatra. Meanwhile, the number of foreign tourist arrivals in November 2020 who came through sea entrances actually increased by 1.94% compared to the previous month, or October 2020. Entrance to Batam in Riau Islands became the entry point with the highest increase, which was 256.02%. And regarding the visits of foreign tourists, tourists from which countries have dominated so far? We'll check the data in the next graphic. So in the graphic, we can see that the origin of foreign tourists. We can see in November 2020, in the first place, Timor-Leste with 41.61%. The second place is Malaysia with 23.75%. And then China on the third place with 3.72%, and Netherlands 1.75%, and United States of America with 1.39%. The data is taken from BPS on November 2020. So viewers, of the 175,000 visits in November 2020, foreign tourists who came from the Oceania region had the highest percentage decline compared to November 2019, which was 98.54%. Meanwhile, the lowest percentage decline was seen in foreign tourists who came from the Asian region outside Asia, amounting to 78.73%. And cumulatively, from January to November 2020, foreign tourists coming from the African region has the highest percentage in decline, amounting to 81.51% compared to the same period in the previous year. And cumulatively, until November 2020, tourists from Malaysia dominated with 23.94%, followed by Timor-Leste 23.83%, Singapore 7.07%, Australia 6.44%, and China, of course, with 5.99%. And viewers, the business of tourist visits should also be seen from the occupancy rate of hotel rooms in Indonesia, right? But did the data reflect this? Let's see it in the next graphic. So this is Indonesia's hotel occupancy rate in November 2020. The first indicator is star-class hotel room occupancy rate was at the level of 40.14%, or decline by 18.44 basis points year on year. And then the second indicator is the average length of stay of foreign tourists at star classification hotels, 1.59 days, or declined by 0.919% basis points, year on year. And based on the hotel classification, the highest hotel room occupancy rate in November 2020 was recorded at hotels with a 3-star classification, with a percentage of 42.03%, followed by 4-star hotels at 41.91%. Meanwhile, the lowest occupancy rate was recorded at hotels with a 1-star classification, with a percentage of 29.03%. Meantime, the average length of stay of foreign and Indonesian guests at star-classified hotels in Indonesia in November 2020 reached 1.59 days when compared to November 2019. The average length of stay in November 2020 decreased by 0.19 points. Details: according to the province, the longest average length of stay for guests in November 2020 was recorded in Maluku province, followed by Papua province and Gorontalo province. So viewers, hopefully the Indonesia's tourism industry continues to show improvement along with the government's efforts in recovering the national economy. So viewers, stay tuned on Market Headlines. We'll be right back after this quick break.
IDX Channel, the Indonesia Stock Exchange channel, is the authorized capital market channel in Indonesia. To give references to global investors, IDX Channel also presented the news about the dynamic of Indonesia's economy, business, and capital market in English. IDX Channel also have different types of programs. They are Special Dialogue, Market Opening, Market Review, IDX First Session Closing, IDX Second Session Closing, Market Headlines, and News Screen. IDX Channel is aired 24 hours a day with 5 hours live program from Indonesia Stock Exchange trading floor. Our vision and mission as the only capital market TV channel in Indonesia that is committed to improve the capital market knowledge in the country. News that had been delivered on IDX Channel can also be seen on our digital platforms, so you can give yourself an update about informations anywhere and everywhere. IDX Channel can be watched through Vision Channel, First Media Channel, IndiHome Channel, and Vision Plus, and also live streaming on idxchannel.com. IDX Channel provides information from around the world from different perspectives. We provide you various investment strategies, stock options, inspiring figures for your business references. IDX Channel, your trustworthy economic, business, and capital market channel.
Welcome back on Market Headlines. We're in the last segment. At the Jakarta Composite Index intraday movement, earlier today, JCI was open at the level of 6,106.26, and then approaching the closing time on the first session, the index was on the level of 6,118.56. And then the index was showing strengthening trend by the second session closing time. Index was closed at the level of 6,137.34. In short, JCI went up 0.53%. And next, we're going to see the sectoral movement. Leading the dynamics of today's trading, we got agriculture as the leader of strengthening trend that went up 2.73%. Finance went up 1.14%. And the leader weakening trend, we got infrastructure, went down 0.65%. Miscellaneous industry went down 0.33%. Moving on to top gainers and top losers, here are the key highlights from today's trading session. PGAS went up 3.9% to the level of 1,600 per share. BBCA went up 3.73% to the level of 35,450 per share. KF went up 18.09% to the level of 5,125 per share. And IRA went up 24.71% to the level of 2,120 rupiah per share. Meantime, the top losers for today's trading, we got BBRI went down 0.93% to the level of 4,270 rupiah per share. Bamandiri went down 1.15% to the level of 6,425 rupiah per share. Astra International went down 0.8% to the level of 6,175 rupiah per share, and Indosat went down 3.88% to the level of 5,575 rupiah per share. And next, we're going to see the intraday movement of rupiah towards US dollar. Open at the level of 14,871, rupiah was also showing weakening trend towards US dollar and was closed at the level of 14,818. In summary, rupiah went down 0.47%. Indonesia Financial Services Authority, or OJK, is optimistic that Indonesian capital market will revive in 2021, even though there is yet no sign of COVID-19 pandemic will end soon. The Indonesia Financial Services Authority, or OJK, is optimistic that Indonesian capital market will revive in 2021, even though there is yet no sign of COVID-19 pandemic will end soon. The OJK's Board of Commissioner Chairman Wimbo Santoso appreciated the performance of Indonesian capital market in 2020. He said that the decline in JCI was normal and even still better than the other Southeast Asian market. Besides that, the optimism is based on increasing retail investors transaction and the number of total new investors, which rose by 56%, reached 3.8 investors.
Di sinyal pemulihan yang lain tentunya dapat kami sampaikan ya bahwa transaksi investor sebesar 73% dari tahun sebelumnya dengan transaksi investor retail yang meningkat 4 kali lipat ya, yang merupakan tertinggi di ASEAN. Di samping itu juga jumlah investor pasar modal naik 56% dibandingkan tahun lalu menjadi 3,88 juta dan didominasi oleh domestik yang berumur di bawah 30 tahun.
Wimbo added that by seeing these conditions, it is believed as the right momentum to conduct fundraising in the capital market, while the government bond yield is declining sharply. From Jakarta, Gilang Praditya for IDX Channel. meantime, the observer says that investment in Indonesian capital market in 2021 will be more challenging than last year. For that reason, the observer suggests investors to implement tight risk management strategy and not too aggressive in buying stocks. The observer assessed that investment in Indonesian capital market in 2021 will be more challenging than last year. Hans Kui, the capital market observer, revealed factors that made the current stock price valuation not cheap anymore. The first one is high expectation of the end of COVID-19 pandemic, along with the presence of vaccine. The second factor is the capital market actors are weighting the effectiveness of vaccine to overcome the COVID-19 pandemic. Han explained that currently the capital market participants are expecting the pandemic to end soon, so that the economy will revive and deliver positive impacts to the corporation's financial performance.
Yang pasar harapkan adalah pandemi COVID segera berlalu sehingga ekonomi segera pulih, sehingga laba korporasi, perusahaan-perusahaan kembali naik, sehingga harga saham bisa bergerak naik kembali, sehingga valuasi saham yang tadinya kelihatan relatif lebih mahal menjadi murah kembali. Nah, ini yang menjadi tantangan sendiri.
In the same time, Han suggests the investors to implement risk management strategy and not too aggressive in buying stocks this year. From Jakarta, Gilang Praditya for IDX Channel. And viewers, step aside from market condition as coronavirus pandemic takes big role on current economic situation. Here it is an update data about coronavirus globally. And the news close our market headlines today. Please enjoy our next program on IDX Channel, your trustworthy economic, business, and capital market channel. I'm Fajar Wayong. Have a nice evening and stay safe.